Hey guys, welcome back. So much happening in the background, eh? Hey guys, welcome back to the biggest agricultural platform in Namibia, known as Nduna Wengombe, which means headman of cattle. My name, of course, Mitchell Mutumba Simata, aka the headman of cattle. So last night, right, on the Nduna Wengombe Instagram account, there is an Instagram account, guys. Go follow it. Go follow their channel. I think I'll start posting behind the scenes, some of the behind the scenes stuff. And when I'm busy editing, what happens, what goes into the editing, and so forth. Maybe I'll start posting those clips there. So on the Instagram account, I put up a poll yesterday asking many people, my followers on Instagram, what do you think? Do you think farming is a retirement business? And then the votes are split down the middle. 7 people voted yes, 7 people voted no. So I'm going to try and justify. I told them to defend their points, but none of them could defend their points really. I think some tried, but none of them did. So for the yes people, I get why they say that farming is a retirement business. When they say it's a retirement business, they're talking about by the time you reach retirement age, by the time you reach pensioner age, by the time you reach 62 and you're about to retire, you have already accumulated all type of assets and you've started downgrading your lifestyle. You've started, maybe you once upon a time had 3 cars when you were young. You go from 3 cars to only having 1 or 2 cars, maybe 1 car for your wife and 1 car for yourself. Your bucky which you're going to utilize on the farm. And not just that, you have now also accumulated wealth. You've worked probably in a big multinational company, you've worked in a big IT company, you've worked in a big agricultural company. You were able to make money from that. And that money you've made from that, you've been investing it into your farming. And now you have your pension. Maybe you build up your pension to be worth 2 million Namibian dollars. Now you can utilize some of that pension money you've saved up so much, your 2 million Namibian dollars, some of the assets you accumulated, which you are probably either going to convert into money by selling them, or you're either going to put them up for rent, like some of your properties, maybe houses you own. You probably open them up to the public for rent so people can rent there. And that starts bringing money into your pocket for you to be able to invest it into your farming. And not just not just that, farming is expensive. I think this is why many people believe that agriculture or farming is a retirement business. Because, like I mentioned, you need lots of money. In order to start it up, you need startup capital. You need enough capital. You need enough capital, which you've, like I said, which you've probably accumulated over the years of working to be able to buy a farm. Cheapest farm you can get probably now on the market is 3 million. That's the cheapest you can get. Um, and then on top of that, you need extra, not assets, you need liquid. You need liquid which you can pour into the farm to actually develop it up to a point where you can do it. And another reason why I think people look at it as a retirement business is also because now you are retired, you're no more working for a company, you're not working for an NGO, you're not working for a government. You don't need to be sent out of the country, you don't need to be sent on missions and so forth to represent the company you're working for outside your country. You can be on the farm, you can be hands-on your farm, rather than just having your farm somewhere in rural Namibia, maybe in the Omaheke region, the Njupa, Kunene, Karas, and the Karas region, and so forth, in the Zambezi or in the north, in the northern parts of the country. Now, rather than you doing it remote control farming, where you phoning your farm workers every day, video calling them, or you accessing your cameras on the farm to see what's happening, you are actually on the farm, meaning you are there, you oversee what's happening. If you are plowing crops, you oversee the plowing of the crops. If you are raising pigs, you oversee the raising of the pigs. If you are raising chickens, you oversee this. If you're a cattle farmer, you oversee the management of your farm, because now you're on the farm, meaning you have more time to actually invest your time and effort into your farming, rather than before when you were probably employed by a company, an NGO, a legal practitioner, or working for a big multinational company. You were probably, in a year, you were probably traveling like 5 or 6 times. And in that 5 or 6 times that you're traveling, you don't get to see your farm. You don't get to go to the farm. So now that you have all this time, you can take your time and invest it into your farming. You can be on the farm. You can literally move from your city. You don't need to be in the city anymore. You can take your wife with, or you can leave her here with the kids, and then you move to the farm and you go live on the farm, because now you're retired. You have enough time. You have so much time on your hands, so you can really invest it into your farming. I mentioned the part of when people retire, they build up enough capital and assets to be able to invest in farming. I've mentioned the part of when people retire, they have more time, they can be hands-on on their farming. They don't need to do it anymore. Remote control or cell phone farming like we do it. They can be on the farm to oversee what's going on. And yeah, it means your workers work better and your people are motivated because you're on the farm now. Meneer is hier so, of mevrou is hier so, or the boss is here, so he gets to oversee how we're doing these things. The no part of it not being a retirement business is you can get involved in agriculture at any stage, at any age, at any stage. Particularly those ones who are fortunate enough, whose parents already own farms or have villages, who already have farms or are in a village and have a kraal of cattle, chickens, whatever. You can get involved at whatever age because when you are young, let's say you are 13 and you want to get into goat farming and you buy your first goats, your father, let's say, not say you, but let's say your dad buys your first goats. You are able, like my nephew, Jaden Sipula Muchali. The young man is a goat farmer. He himself, he does manage his stuff, he does oversee his stuff, but he doesn't handle the financial side of his goats. The financial side of his goats is his mom, his dad, and his grandma. They handle the financial side of the goats and also the management of the goats for him. He's not actively on the farm. He's in Windhoek. He's at school. His goats are up in Katima. So the parents, his parents plus granny, are the ones who run and manage his goat farming for him. So you can get involved in farming at any age. The only problem why some people would say it's difficult to get involved in it is that it's capital intensive. I always speak about how capital intensive farming is. When I was farming with my father in Witflame, I was able to farm for nearly 11, 12 years or 13 years farming that I did it because my dad was there. My dad was offering the capital muscle. So if there were, let's say, a drought and it's time to buy feeds, bales, different licks and medication for the livestock, my father handled that. He was the financial muscle. I did the physical work on the ground, but my dad did the financial part of the things. I mean, the financial part of the business, which meant that I was able to farm productively because he was there to carry the financial blows. Same thing like my nephew that I mentioned, Mr. Jaden Sipula. He is also able to keep goats or to farm goats. Let's say he keeps goats because he's not really farming them, but let's call him a young goat farmer. He's able to raise goats because his mom and dad and his granny are the people who are carrying the expenses of the goat farming. The mom and dad are buying the medication. Granny oversees the management of his goats. He oversees the management of his goats because she lives in the village. So he doesn't really need to stress. He can come there and say, yes, it's my goats. Physically, it's his stuff. But financial wise, it's his parents' goats because they are the ones busy paying for them and paying the workers who look after the goats and buying the medication and buying the licks. And if he needs a new buck, a new herds here, the parents are the ones who take out the money and buy for him, not him. It's the parents, but he can say it's his because they bought it for him. They bought it for him, so he's busy running his own goat farm. But like I said, he's able to farm because he has three individuals: his mom, his dad, his granny, who are helping him out with the financial side of things. If Sipula was to do it on his own, let's say to do it on his own without the help of his parents, for example, I'm utilizing him as an example, it'll be very difficult because he does not work. He's not employed. He doesn't have any asset. Probably he doesn't have a house that he's renting out. He doesn't have a vehicle that is probably turning into a business that makes money. No, he is a school going kid. He's a scholar. He's a school going kid. He's a learner. He would not be able to farm. He would be able to keep goats, but I think his goats would be stolen, eaten, and would be going missing. That's what would happen. They'd be stolen, eaten, and would be going missing because he himself would not have the finances, firstly, to pay a worker who's able to oversee his animals. They would die because he doesn't have the money to buy medication to take care of his animals. They would, like I said, get stolen because there's no worker. They would die. And people would eat them. People would later on start claiming his goats are theirs and then come and kill. Because you don't have infrastructure, you don't have the finances to hire people that are able to maintain and look after your farming for you. In this case, my nephew Spula, he would not have that luxury. But at this point in time, like I mentioned, he has that luxury because his mom, his dad, and his grand are the three who are busy assisting him with his farming. That at a point, eventually one day, when he becomes financially independent. He's able to now make his own money, build a living for himself. He will take over the financial burden of his goats and be able to farm them properly. But right now, he is still under the tutelage and under the care of his parents. So that's the no part. The no part, you can get into farming at any stage or for any age. Like I mentioned, I use my nephew Spola as an example. He has the luxury of his parents who are able to financially assist him run and manage his goat farming. Other kids are fortunate enough, similar situation, their parents have farms. So their parents already from a young age, let's say 13, they tell him, okay, Peter, Peterki, you're mostly Afrikaners. I know I have a friend a former school friend, his name was Peter, Peterki. His dad called him Peterki. His dad already gave Peter some 25 Bosmara cattle at the age of 13 when we were still in school. And the dad told him, okay, the farm is big, so I'm not gonna cut it. I'm gonna say that side, the western side of the farm is yours. This side is mine. So the father did that with his son already at 13. So there are people getting into the agricultural sector at different stages of their lives. Some start farming from the time they were born. They were given cattle probably by their parents, and then from there on progress. This cattle keep on producing to a point where these people are financially sound and they take over the farming. Some of them already are given when they are still in school, like my nephew Spula, who was given goats at a young age, and they're able to farm and make money from them, which is fine. So what am I saying here? I get the no side. The no side, it's true. You can get into agriculture at whatever age you want to. It all depends on finances. Agriculture, I tell people, we must start looking at farming the same way we look at starting up a business. It's very difficult to start up a business if you do not have seed capital. I would know this. I'm an entrepreneur who's struggling. Let me call it, I'm a struggling entrepreneur. My businesses haven't even gotten going. They're just on paper. It's very difficult. So it's the same thing with farming. You can have a farm, but if you do not have the money, the capital to be able to invest, to be able to fix a pipe, to be able to buy livestock feed, to be able to buy medication for your livestock, you will struggle. It's a difficult thing. And I think that's why many people still view agriculture as a business that requires you to retire and to at least, by the time you reach your retirement, you built yourself a nice war chest, which is probably worth 5 million Namibian dollars, or you can even say South African rands. And then that money, you get paid out the dividends from your investments you've done probably at Metropolitan, Old Mutual, investments you've done in companies, investments you've done in businesses, investments you've done in properties. Now you are getting your compound dividends back. So you are able to invest that money you are making from your other side hustles you set up, your other investments you've done. Now you build more pipelines that are bringing money into your pocket. And with that money that's coming into your pocket, you are able to pump it into your farming. While as a young person who's probably still in school, if your parents are not assisting you financially to run and manage your farm, or if not your parents, your grandparents are not assisting you to run and manage your farm in terms of finances and probably managing it for you, at least you're still at school or university or working outside the country, it becomes extremely difficult. It becomes extremely difficult because number one, you probably don't have the money. You're probably still in school. You're probably still a student. You're probably studying abroad. You don't have money to be able to pay for farm workers, to be able to buy medication, to be able to buy the feeds, and to be able to do the maintenance of your farming, whatever form of farming it is. So it's a bit of a struggle. So I understand why some people till this date, even though we're having so many young men, young women involved, youth involvement in agriculture, and trying to make farming sexy, many people still view it as a retirement business because this is a business that requires you to have many pipelines that are going to bring income. And from that income that comes, you are able to reinvest it back into your farming. So I do understand. And I also get the no side. I get why people are saying, no, you can start farming at whatever age. This all depends. If you are financially sound, like I've mentioned in many of my videos, if you are making in excess of 15,000 a month right now after deductions, you can get involved in farming. You can afford to farm. If you are making 20,000 or even 30,000 a month after deductions, you can afford to farm. You can afford to farm it. It's going to be very easy for you. But for a person who's not making that amount, who's not even making any income at all, he's going to find it very difficult. So he's probably going to say, let me spend my younger days, my youth, my teens, my 20s, my early 30s, going to my 40s, building up enough capital to one day when I retire at 50 or at 60 to be able to invest in the agricultural sector and to get involved in the agricultural sector. But what do I think? What are my personal opinions? Is I would love to see young people get involved in farming. But I'm also not that stupid that I'm just going to say young people must get involved in farming. Because, like I said, I did it for 11 years. I know what it took. Fortunately, I had, like I mentioned, I had my parents, my dad and my mom were making good money. So they were able to support my farming, my farming endeavors, even though it ended on a sour note. But they're able to support my farming endeavors. Had I not have that luxury of them, I would probably not have been able to farm at the level that I did it. At the level of being able to buy $42,000 Brahman bulls, $42,000 Brahman bulls, $32,000 Simbra bulls. I would not have been at that level. But because I had parents who had the financial net, they were able to capture all these expenses and still keep me on my merry way. In other words, they were able to hold off the Tokolossis at the door while I was still enjoying my sweet dreams. But eventually, when things came to an end and they couldn't anymore hold the doors shut for the Tokolossis not to come in, the Tokolossis came in. They came in and they changed things up. So I get why some people would say it's a retirement business. I get why some people would say it's not. It's a business young people can get involved in. I understand, and I gave my arguments. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say thank you very much. Don't forget to go follow the Nduna Ngombe YouTube channel, and also don't forget to subscribe to this Nduna Ngombe YouTube channel. Don't forget to follow the Nduna Ngombe Instagram account, and don't forget to follow the Nduna Ngombe TikTok account. Yes, we're on TikTok. I didn't do it because I wanted to. I was forced by my niece, so I had to create a TikTok account. So go and follow all these things. I'll probably need to get a team helping me out of running all these accounts, because you're running the accounts, you're trying to run the business side of it. It's a lot. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say bye for now.